Here's another sketch video on pen doodles with a ballpoint pen. I made my sketch of the eyes ahead of time so I can just jump right in and start shading. Next we're going to fill in the eyebrow, and what I do is I use short strokes and use about light to medium pressure. I don't want to spend too much time messing around with the eyebrows. I just want to get the basic shape of it sketched out, and the hairlines is all the detail that you really need. Next we're going to add the eyelashes, and notice how they're curved when you go around the upper eyelid. They will always follow the shape of the eyeball, so you have to change the direction of your curves. Here I'm just adding some more detail to the bottom of the eye, and I'm starting to do my light shading. Once I have my details in place, I'm going to shade the white part of the eye. Now this part is really tricky. You got to go really light using really soft pressure. You barely want to touch the paper since you want to keep that shadow as light as possible. You don't want to have the eyeball looking too dark. I'm adding more details to the iris, and the eye is pretty much sketched in, so now all I'm doing from this point on is shading. So I darken the upper eyelid, doing a little bit of work to the other eye just to have a little bit of a contrast. Here I'm darkening the eyelashes by going over the same lines I did before, just building up more lines to make them look darker. Now the bottom eyelashes, you want them to be lighter in stroke and shorter and more spread out, creating a little bit of a shadow on the bottom eyelid. Now I'm adding the shadow, which is actually also part makeup, to the upper eyelid. Start with your hatching strokes going in one direction, and then switch the direction and start your cross hatching. And all I'm doing is building it up as I go to make it darker by doing the same light pen pressure over the existing lines, and it'll get darker on its own. It's better to build up your dark shadows in layers instead of going super heavy and trying to get your darks built up right away. Here I'm adding more of a smoky effect to her makeup, and just by going over the upper eyelid, notice how I changed my direction of the hatch as needed. And here we're going to finish up this sketch. I'm going to create a really light shadow by the corner of her eye right here. I'm barely grazing the paper. And the more you practice using the pen and hatching, the better you'll get.